everyone loves pixel shacks. So let's take a little glimpse at where we're heading here. Here are some that I prepared earlier. And as you can see, they've got kind of a particular style going on. That's because obviously I'm creating them for a game that I'm working on right now, which has a specific style. So this is kind of where we're heading. And let's get straight into it. I don't want to make this too long a video. As you can see, I'm using Pixel Edit, like I've already stated, but the concepts in this are pretty much universal, so don't worry too much if you don't have Pixel Edit. But I do recommend it because it's quite a cool little package. Let's minimize this and start a new document. In fact, no, let's not. Let's just hide this layer. Pixel pirate shacks 1. So that can be our reference. I'm then going to create a new layer here. And what I like to do is import something that I can see as reference, because I need some sort of size reference that I can look at so that things don't become crazy. Okay, so here's my little character. He's what we're going to be using as our size reference. I will name this layer character size reference. I just spelled that wrong, whatever. Okay, so also I'm just going to grab a couple of colors from this one because I don't want the colors in our new one to look too far away. I want everything to sort of mesh together. It's often useful to have a picture in the background or on a separate layer that you can just switch to grab your colors. I am just going to copy some colors from these layers and put them up here in the corner. Let's make our brush a little bit bigger. Let's go 6 maybe. And that's a nice brown. You can use the right click to select colors. It's a lighter brown. Let's get a darker one. And perhaps the darkest one. So there's 4 colors that we'll be using for the shack that we're going to do. Let's hide those ones in the background there. Oops. Let's hide those guys. I'm just going to name this color reference. That can be our color reference layer. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to it. I've created a new layer here. I'm going to call this Pirate Shack. And now let's just start with something basic. What I'm going to do is just block out the shape of the shack. And I want it to be something kind of a bit more charismatic. Let's just give it a bit of a sloped front side. And as you can see, the walls are going to be a bit skewiff. This is going to be the front facing wall here. Let's just fill that up. I'm also going to do the deck that comes around. I like these little shacks to have a deck because it looks kind of cool. So that's going to come around from the back here and come out the front. I don't want it to be too far out to the side here because we don't have that much perspective in this game. It's mainly front on, but a little bit would be good. And I'm going to make this one come down quite a bit to the front this time. I want kind of a bigger deck. It's not really a deck, it's more like a... No, it is a deck actually. What am I talking about? Down the side here. It's going to be a bit rough because these guys aren't exactly master craftsmen, these pirates. Cool. Oh. What is going on here? Oh, you actually have to transform it now. Okay, so this pixel edit just got updated and I can't click and drag stuff like that anymore. It duplicates it, so now I have to select it and then press transform and now I can move it wherever I want. That's I don't know how I feel about that yet. Let's keep going. Okay, now I'm going to do the roof. And the roof, like everything, is going to slip towards us. And come along the front here. Go back up. Bada bing, bada boom. There's a roof. Let's fill that guy in. I'm not really so happy with the way the walls are looking here yet. Let's go out for this one maybe. Cool. Okay, so you can already see that there's a bit of a shape happening here. I also don't like the way the deck's that big. I'm actually not so keen on that, so I'm going to pull it back up a bit. And maybe even go out to the side a bit more. Cool. Okay, so now we've got the basic shape going. What might also be cool is some sort of window on the roof, because I think it gives it a bit of character having those little window boxes up there. So I'm going to draw, maybe in the middle this time, a little outcropping here where our window is going to go. Boop. Fill that one in. And you'll notice I'm just using the same 2 colors at the moment. This is, well, it just makes it easier. I could go and start trying to invent different browns, but I want to stick to this 4-color palette I've got here. And once again, a little roof for the window box, I should say. Also kind of angled. And on the original couple of shacks, I had little chimneys that came out, and I kind of like that, so maybe I'll take that again actually. Let's just grab this color here and put it on our color reference layer. I'm going to take all of them. I'm going to take that one and the lighter gray here for the shine, and the darker one here. There we go. And hide those shacks again. So back to our little new shack here. One other thing that these shacks have is that they're on stilts, because they're on a sandy beach and you don't want sand coming in your front door while you're eating crab or whatever you're doing. So let's just draw a couple little stilts down here. They might be different sizes. They might be a bit bent or twisted. They're not exactly, like I said, master builders. They ain't too worried about precision, these pirates. They're more worried about which rum they were gonna chase down next. Okay, and then of course after these little stilts are done, we need some way to get up onto that deck. And this time I'm gonna do, I've done front ones before, as you can see here. Oops, sorry. As you can see here, these little front ramps. But this time I'm gonna do a side ramp. So let's copy that color again, and we're just gonna go down like this. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong layer. I'm not on any layer. Down we go, like that. Cool. A little bit this way, and up again. Okay. There we go. Let's see if that works. Might just taper it out a bit here. Yeah, flatten it out here. Okay. Fill it in. Not thrilled with that shape, but we'll figure that out later. Okay, cool. So there we go. We've got our basic shape down. And from here on out, it's just detailing, basically. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's a sort of style I'm going for with these. And you can see here that the shacks are all kind of wooden. They've got these wooden planks over the front. The roofs are pretty ramshackled. Everything looks a bit off, just to give it a bit of character and to give it something a bit interesting. So let's see what colors I used here. I basically used the same ones, I think. Maybe the deck could be, oops, that's not the right color. No, it's the same color as the wall. Okay, cool. So let's start by making these colors a bit more accurate, what they should be. This one, yeah, okay, cool. And also the roof, I think, was the darker, yeah, okay. Just basically copying what I did before. Oops. This guy here, this guy here, and here. Okay, cool. Yeah, so like I said, now we can start detailing. And the first thing I'm going to do is give some of these edges a bit of definition. So for example, the deck here, it's not just a single flat nothing piece of wood. It's got a little bit of an edge here, and that sort of comes around here and then disappears up the edge, up the side here. Cool. And also on the ramp here, there's going to be a little bit of a, oops, let's hold shift and we can draw a clear line. And along the bottom, great. And on the roof here as well, same thing. Any surface that I think needs a bit of thickness, I'm going to do this for. Cool, cool. And the tiny little roof window box here. Okay, already you can see that that's made a bit of a difference. There's some dimension happening, there's some depth. Let's put the door in, and you know what? I'm not super happy with how this place looks pretty high. It's too high. I'm just going to shorten up the whole thing a bit. Oops. Hey, hello. That's better. Okay, now let's draw the front door. And as always, everything here is a bit bent. So let's just make it a bit of a bendy door. Maybe not too bendy. That was a bit excessive. And also just keeping an eye on the character there as a size reference, because I don't want the characters in this world are a little bigger than the ones in his world, but they're not altogether too different. Cool. Let's fill that in. And this part here as well. There's a door frame. I might even make it just a touch wider. Let's do that. Doop, doop. There we go. Cool. And the door, I believe, usually is like a darker, still, it's a different brown. There we go. Pop. Sorry, this looks like I'm cheating because I'm grabbing colors from different places. You'll usually have to play around to get colors that work for you, but just for the sake of speed, you know what I'm doing, so we're all good. Just give the door a bit of an edge up here, and later we'll get to something else to give this a bit more life, namely putting lights inside the house. The scene that this asset is for is actually a nighttime scene, so I want that there's a bit of coziness to this town as well. This is a pirate town. It's on, you know, on the sea. There's a bit of activity. It's not a ghost town, so we're gonna have a couple little lanterns. There's gonna be some fires inside. There's gonna be, you know, people bustling around and all that sort of jazz. Let's give this a wee bit more shape here. In fact, I might even go, do I put dark around the outside? Okay, yeah, we'll get to that later. So there's our door. Let's give the roof a bit of depth here as well. Put some darker brown at the back here, on that back edge. Cool. Same up here on the window box. Oh, and I never drew that little pipe up the back, the little chimney, so I'll do that as well. Let's just give this ramp a bit of a lip too. And no, that didn't work out. Make it a bit, maybe I'll make it a darker brown actually. It's facing a different way, so. Okay, I might have to break my 4-color rule here. I'm gonna pick the dark brown here, but as this is almost the same angle as the deck, I don't want it to be totally different. So let's pick this brown, and we'll just make it a touch darker, just like that. And now we can just skidooch over here, like that. I don't even know if that's gonna, I might even just leave that. I might even not color it in. I don't know. But I will definitely change the edges here. Let's go this brown here, the main hut brown. And let's just, oops, hey you, I didn't want you to change. Cool. Same thing under here, that was a nice big one. Oh, no. Now here, actually, I had, in the original ones, I had like guttering. There's a bit of, like a copper kind of gutter that went around, as you can see here. I kind of like that there, but maybe this house is a bit more primitive. Maybe he doesn't have anything up there yet. So maybe this hut owner did not even bother to put in his guttering, which is fine. Not compulsory. He ain't gonna get fined. It may look a bit plain. Maybe we'll figure out some other way of detailing it. In fact, I have an idea already. Let's extend the roof out a bit. And what we're gonna do is support it by little support beams, which are gonna come out from underneath. So let's do them. Let's take this brown here, and we're just gonna draw them diagonally down onto the house here. And I hope this looks good in the end. Let's try it out and see what happens. And I'm gonna just separate them from the house brown by taking that door brown, that really dark brown, just to make sure that it's not the same. I don't know if I like that. Maybe let's take it up a bit. It's too, that angle's too slight, I think. Yeah, I don't know if I like that. We'll come back to that. Maybe. Yeah, we'll come back. For now, let's keep going with the detailing, and we're going to put some boards on the roof, some planks, because this thing, I could have done like a grass roof, but I think let's make this one a bit bendier. Let's make this one go down here and then back up. That's weird. Little funky piece of wood there. I don't like having straight lines especially in these assets, because like I said before, they're supposed to have a bit of personality. So we're gonna make things a bit shaky. Also up here, I'm not happy with that. I'm gonna make that a bit bendier. Cool, and this one comes up, let's replace that. Cool, so now the roof kind of looks like it's bending. Maybe the roof even has bent a little from the weather, because I assume that tropical weather can be a bit violent. So maybe that roof is actually just bent up a bit. And that support beam here is sort of still pushing it up. I don't know if I like that either, but we'll go with it for now. Let's just undo one step there. And I'm gonna give this edge a bit of, oops. I'm gonna give this edge a bit of highlight as well. Let's zoom in here. Sometimes it does help to zoom in and not work at 40 miles away. Cool. Okay, just connect these ones down. Very good, very good. Oops, not very good. And the last one up here. Now I got another trick for making these look a bit more like planks of wood, because at the moment they're just looking like lines. Agreed? Yes. So I'm just going to divide a couple of them up by just drawing straight down through the middle of a couple of them, like that, and up here as well. And then delete a couple of pixels there, and you can kind of see that it's creating a, well, it's already creating a planky-like effect, but we can go even further than this. Let's put a couple more of them in, and I'll show you what I mean. And one down here. Cool. And actually we're going to put one back here, and the last one there. Maybe here. Yeah, that's better. Cool. And now we're going to actually give it a little shadow. And once again, I'm going to take this shade here from the ridge. And I'm just going to go and put that might be too slight. That's actually not dark enough. Let's grab this one and okay, you know what? Let's grab this guy again, and we're going to make him a wee bit darker so that he stands out more. I'm not going to drift too far away from my color palette. I've now got 5 browns for the house. That's one too many, I'd say, but cool. Let's add that guy, because that's a useful one. So now we can actually just go around and put some shadows under some of these planks as if they're kind of coming off the roof. So a little shadow there, not the whole way around. We just want it to look like it's coming up in places. Same here. Let's give that a bit of a shadow there, and under here especially. It's not super dramatic, but it does add a little bit of depth to everything here. Cool. Let's maybe get down here as well. And depending on which side you put the shadows on, obviously, you're going to make it look like they're coming up one way or the other. So let's just add another bit here. Cool. Let's take off a bit of the top here. No, that looks terrible. Okay, I'm going to round off that edge. This is a very quick and dirty version of what I usually do. Oops, no, that was too close to the edge. And yeah, you'll just have to play around this until you get something that looks good. This is not great right now, but I think I'll play around with it later and get it looking better. That's all right. Chook. Yeah, sure. For now, that'll be okay. Let's move on to we'll do the same thing down here. And to save you the pain, I will just skip through it, and I'll come back when these boards down here are done. Okay, so there we go. We've got a couple of boards down there. And once again, we can give them a bit of shading, show that they got some depth to them. I'm not going to do every single one. Oops, that's the wrong side. Kind of helps to have an idea of where the planks are in your head as well. Some of them, for example, this one, I wouldn't do the shadows here because it looks like then it's going down. You want these boards to look like they're coming up off the floor. So you got to find a place to put the shadows under them. Let's give another little division here. Oops. Cool. Okay, so as you can see, there's some more detailing on stuff now. I'm just going around and I'm putting a wee bit more depth on the top bit here because it wasn't quite satisfying to me. It didn't quite look like boards enough. And I think maybe the reason is because a couple of these planks weren't really sitting high up enough off the roof. For example, if we put another little line of shadows here, and maybe, in fact, even if we take this whole section here and move it up one, you get the sense that the board is actually sticking up at the end, which is cool. That's what I want. So I've just done that to a couple of them here. I'm actually going to take this whole section chunk and go up. And often it's just playing around until you get something that looks right. There's no formula for a lot of this stuff. You just got to play around. So this is looking better. It's not great. This is not my best pirate shack, but it's coming along. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this stuff. Let's keep moving along. So now we're going to go to this front section here. And for the other ones, I had this kind of weird bark sort of stuff that was across the front. I'm going to do that again because, I don't know, I just want them all to look a bit coherent, like they're all built in the same style. So I'm going to pick a darker brown and start detailing the front here. And first up, let's grab this weird brown here. You know what? I think I got accidentally more colors than I thought. I got like quite a few here. This is number 6 or 7, I think now. So I kind of lied at the start. I thought I had a palette of like 4 colors, but I apologize. I lied to you all. I have more than that. So let's grab this lighter brown. And as you can see, it's a shade away from the current background brown here, but it's just enough to give it a little highlight. And we're just going to put a few pieces of this around. Again, it's kind of like tree bark. So if you can imagine that strips were just pulled off and then just sort of glued to the front, maybe with, I don't even know what, or hammered to the front, then you kind of understand where this is coming from. And maybe one here. Choke, that's a bit of a big one. And then one more down the bottom here. It kind of looks a bit weird right now, but we'll give it a bit of depth again in a minute with some shadows. And by in a minute, I mean right now. So let's pick this dark brown again. Well, I think that maybe even 2. Did I do it again? Do I have another brown? Is this like number 7? Let's have a look. Ooh, I went crazy. Yep, okay, so that's another brown. That's all good. We're just gonna go with it at this point. If I was sticking to some sort of color palette, this would be a no-no, and I'd have to be more clever with the amount of colors that I'm using, but this really is, luckily I'm not living in 1980, so I have the full gamut of colors at my disposal, as do you, unless you're restricting yourself. And we're not gonna worry about that too much. So we're just going to give these pieces a shadow underneath. You could also give them a highlight on the top. For me, it's going to pop them too much. I want them to sort of remain somewhat flush with the surface here. But I'll show you what I mean. For an example, let's grab this brown, this darker one here. And I could even give it like a light. Maybe I will do that. Let's have a look. Let's see how it turns out. Yeah. No, I think that's maybe too much. I don't want it to look like it's separate from the surface. Chop, chop. All right, see you in a minute when I finish this. Okay, so I wasn't quite happy with how it was looking before. It looked a bit cowy, maybe a bit leathery. So I've just decided to put a few more detailing bits on here. And I'm just trying some thinner bits as well to sort of fill in a couple of those gaps. And it's giving it a bit more noise, but it might also make it seem a bit more, hello, maybe coherent. Sometimes the keyboard just does not respond. And this is one of the little bugs I found in Pixel Edit. Sometimes things just stop responding when you flip around. Let's do this one. Cool. And the last one up here. And now what we're going to do is, this roof over the top of the shack is actually sticking out over the front wall, obviously. So I might just shrink this one actually. So we want to make sure that's clear. And to do that, we need to give it a shadow, of course. So let's grab we're going to grab the darkest brown we can, and we're just going to sync the opacity here to, no, we're not. No, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's take that brown, and we're actually just going to go across the front here. Oops, that's still opaque. Transparent. Just going to drag it across the front here, and kind of follow the contours of that roof above, and then fill these areas in here. And you can see that instantly gives it the look of that there's a shadow coming down from the roof, which is great. We're going to do that up here as well on the little window turret pocket thing. Cool. And now just for this final little bit, let's just give this window also a bit of detailing here. Not too much, we're just going to be really simple, because actually this is going to get covered by a window, but I want it to look like it's some sort of material. That's kind of not a bad way to do it with the triangles. Maybe I should have done that from the beginning. Maybe if I... Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. Oh well. We live and learn. This is going to be a bit of a different shack to the other ones, but hopefully it will fit in. Cool. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for that detailing. That's done, and I don't want to waste everyone's time by this going on forever. So let's do another little bit down here around the outside of the shack. There's going to be a slightly darker area because the shadows where it connects to the deck. And probably up the side a bit here too. Oops. I don't want to get rid of that brown that I already put there. Cool. And down here as well. Okay, and now let's get on to some other stuff. Let's try some windows, because this is where some magic's going to come into play. Here I want a little window, just a little one like up here, a little two square window. So let's give it a frame. And I'm going to put it on a different layer just in case I don't like it and I want to come back. Let's give it a bit of a bent shape like we've done with everything else. And just fill the whole thing in. And now I'm going to take the same yellow that I did for these guys here, because that's a good window glow yellow. And I'm just going to draw a couple little boxes here for the glass. That's not quite as bent as I want, but I don't want, it's hard with squares of this size, they're so small. Choop, choop. This is quite a wonky little window. I don't know if it's too wonky actually. And let's extend the ledge down a bit. Cool. Okay. And now on the inside, we can even, on the outside of the window, sorry, we're going to take that yellow darker, maybe even a bit orange, tiny bit orange, and just draw around the outside here. And from the door as well, you can see on the original one that actually, ooh, this is a way brighter yellow. I've already got an example here. Let's just copy that color. Okay, so I copied that yellow from the background, and I'm also going to copy the windowsill color here. I did it like an orange on the windowsill, and it extended out like that, and then I will actually fade it down to probably 150 just see where that takes us. Choop. Choop. Yeah, that's not so bad. I'm even going to give another layer to the windowsill to make it a bit thicker, just because it's too thin, I think, at the moment. Cool. Great. Cool, and voila, we have a little window. And now all that's left to do is give the door a bit of light coming through the cracks, and I kind of will start down here underneath and then do the same thing I did on the window, just give it a bit of glow coming through. That's too much. Take the opacity down, try again. Cool. Once more, take this one. Okay. And I don't want it to be uniform, so I'm going to darken it up with a bit of, oops, a bit of brown here. Cool. And now the same thing on the sides. And I'm keeping the opacity down just so I can layer this. You can see how this works here. I'm going to draw straight down, and then again, and here, straight down, and again, a little bit there on this side. Maybe not on that side, it's too close to the frame. There, cool. And you can see it looks like there's some light coming through now, maybe one little bit up here on the top as well. Cool. I'm going to give this door a doorknob because I think that's important for entering and exiting. Oops, the opacity's still down. Let's take that up again. And for this one, I might just keep it at a simple doorknob. Yeah, sure. That'll do for now. And okay, cool. And the last step, I think, is the shadows for the whole thing. And I'm just going to give this, everything in this world kind of has the same kind of shadows. So I'm going to choose black. I'm going to go 50, no, you know what? Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to go to full strength here, and I'm going to put it on a separate layer. Cool. Make my brush round. Okay. And from here, I'm just going to follow the base of the building a bit, and now come under here. It's not too high off the ground, so I don't want the shadow to be too far underneath. And I also don't want it to go out to the sides too much because we're giving it the perspective again. There we go. And now I can just play with the layer opacity and take that down to about 50, where shadows usually lie in this game. Some of this is a bit too far back. Let's go down to 1. Now I can give these individual pillars a bit of a shadow that sort of spreads out there. Cool, that's that. And now on this main shack layer, I'm going to give the cabinet itself a shadow. Oops, that's way too much, sorry. 50. Come around the side here. Dup, dup. In front of the door. Not in front of the light coming out, obviously. That would make no sense. Might even give this one more layer, just to make it really stand out a bit more. Cool. And now you can see it looks like it's sort of sticking out. Oh, I've forgotten up here on the little window box. Let's do the same thing. Let's make that follow the roof shadow a bit. Oops. Watch out not to overlap when you do these, because they just get darker, obviously. Okay, and up the side here. Now I have to kind of be careful. I'm drawing inside there. Ooh, there's a problem here with some of the browns. They look like they're melding together. That's not so great. I might have to just define these edges a wee bit. Oops. By wee bit, I don't mean heaps. Let's just grab that brown and just come down here. Again, I don't really like outlining things because it's not the style of this game, and I don't want it to be too exaggerated. Let's grab this brown. Now we can just flip that. And that looks like it's got a bit of an outline now. Yeah. I might come around the bottom and just do a bit here. That doesn't look good. That doesn't look good to me at all. Dang it. Well, let's get rid of the side border. And maybe even, I don't want to go any darker, that's the problem. Yeah, you know what, maybe that'll have to do for now. Just there. Cool. And I also forgot to put a window up here, so let's put one more window on the roof, because that's what this whole box was for, up here. I'm just going to do it on the same layer. So let's just give it straight across here, down a bit, and like that, fill the whole thing in. And now we can use these same colors from down here and give that a bit of a glass pane here. Very nice. Also over here. Sounds a bit bigger maybe. Cool. No, I don't like that. It's a strange shape. It's not good. It's too different from the other one. That'll do. Cool. Give that little window glass some outline here. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm going to extend this down here just a wee bit as well, like we did with the other one, to give it a bit of a window ledge, and then give it the same colors again. The light can spread a bit more this time, I think. Cool. And now the last thing I'm going to do is just, I'm going to put some light from the windows onto the building itself. So let's grab that yellow, and we'll take this right down to maybe 30 or something, maybe 40. And now I'm just going to imagine the lights coming out here and hitting this roof. And I'm just going to spread it down like this. Oops, not onto the edge, because it wouldn't do that. It would only go up here, I believe. Fill that in. Same over here. This may be too bright a color. This may be like too yellow, I think. It looks quite electric. It looks like there's an electric light in there. It's pretty bright. But for the sake of this tutorial, that's okay. And oops, I forgot to give this border down here. Little bits that I forget along the way. Cool. And also down here, I'm going to give this just a little bit. I think maybe even dimmer because it's further away. Let's go 30. And the light's going to come down and go choop along there. It's going to be quite big at this point because it's traveled down all that way. And the other window. Cool. So there you have it. This is a little pixel shack, and that's pretty good. I'm liking that. What I did with the other shacks was just give them a bit of grass around the side, put a couple of barrels on there. Oops, the shadows showing through. And just with a bit of extra foliage or decoration, these things really sort of pop. So that is a pirate pixel shack. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you've learned something. And if you want to see more, stick around for this channel. Have a look at the videos I've posted. There's a couple of other ones. And you can also check out what I'm up to on Twitter. It's twitter.com/Jimzip. Have a lovely evening wherever you are. Bye. So after stepping back and having a look at the shack, I realized that the deck was actually too small for the house. So I've just gone and extended the whole deck back a bit here to really make it look like the house actually has some depth and it's not just a meter. You know, that wouldn't be very spacious for our little pirate friend. So this is kind of where it's looking now, and I did a couple of other little tweaks, and yeah, there you go. Arr.